Hey, good Wednesday morning. Got some things going wrong here with this hat. I came without my hat, but I definitely had to put it on. The clouds were out, but now it's super sunny. So, today it's Change of Heart, and I want you to know that I can tell you a little bit more about how I got into the addiction recovery program. I was working at the college, and there was a gal there. Well, there was a lot of people there that in the classroom that I was in that were improving themselves. They were coming in and working out because it was a weight training room. And just a lot of them really working on their body, and some of them working really hard on the inside and outside health as well. And had one of the students come and say, hey, I think I'm alcoholic and I need some help. And at that time I had heard about this program and was going to go check it out. And it happened that, there are no coincidences. It was a Tuesday, and Tuesday night was the meeting. And the meeting was every Tuesday night at 7. Even Christmas, New Year's, there was no getting around it. It was always there. And so I thought I'd go check it out. So I was able to tell her right then, well, hey, I'm going to go check this thing out tonight. You're welcome to come with me. And the rest is history. She came, and we actually ended up bringing another friend later. And man, the group is huge now. But it's been over a year. Anyway, after I went, the first time I went, it was such a great experience. It was such a changing experience for me, a reality for me to see that there was a lot of things that I had been trying to work on. And the reality was I'd been trying to change. That word change, I had some things that were so ingrained in me that I could not get a hold on. I knew that I could ask God for help, and He was helping, and I know He was stirring up my life and working in His time, which is the perfect time. And just to come to that class and realize that this was going to be it, that as I mastered the atonement in my life, that this was going to be the change that my heart, my whole spirit, my whole soul needed. And so I continued to go and realized that I was codependent, but I was also an addict, that I had a lot of issues in recovery to make. So anyway, without further ado, let's read a little bit about the change of heart, because this is what happens when you go through inventory. And I tell people, even if you aren't an addict of anything, even if you think you're pretty healthy and you're going along great, and you're actually even happy and doing great, you maybe have already done the inventory. But if you haven't, I would absolutely challenge you to go ahead and just pull up step number 4 on the LDS.org Addiction Recovery Program manual or workbook. You can just pull it up. You can print it out even. Just that step 4 if you want. You can MP3 and listen to it. But to do that inventory and really think about your whole life, and a lot of people go, oh, no, don't drag up the past. The past is in the past. Let it go. But the reality is it affects every part of our life if we don't take a look at it and learn from it, and to really look at it and to see what happened and the events that took place. The reality may be that those events didn't take place in the way that I thought they did. And it ends up being my perception, of course. And to find out and to look back and to go through that, to write it down, to think about it, to pray about it, to meditate on it, really open up as much as you can remember, the good as well as the bad, is such an eye-opener and such a great thing to do, because you start to realize that some of the things that you're doing that aren't healthy really go right back to something you perceived as a child that wasn't even correct. It could even be a total false perception. But the reality was you made it into the real thing in your mind, and you start to act accordingly. I know I shared something with you before about that. Another thing I can help you with right now, let me share this one with you just to give you an idea. Maybe you have the same experience. In a family with siblings, this can happen. So I grew up, really feeling like I was picked on, bullied by my own sibling. And matter of fact, we shared a room, and And I did. I felt pretty picked on, pretty beat up. Sometimes I felt like my sibling would go out of the way to pick on me. And I realized that if I started to talk, it didn't matter. It could be random. But if I started to talk like crazy about whatever, it worked to get the sibling out of my life. I mean, out of the room. She got away from me. I was safe. So I discovered that, oh, okay, so if I'm in a situation that I want to leave, or I want the person to leave, if I just over talk, they'll leave. It'll be it. So I think that became a perception of, if I'm uncomfortable, if I don't like the way things are going, if I just talk a whole bunch, it'll be over with, it'll end, or the situation will go away. And so I made that. You can see, I think you can probably see how that rolls over into adulthood, where when there's an uncomfortable situation, I'm rambling on and on and on, not even thinking about it, because I hadn't gone through this process to really realize, oh my goodness, I'm talking a ton. I'm never quiet. When you have someone say, why don't you just shut up? and you actually, I mean, I'd heard that before in my life, but I never took it. I never thought about it. But as I've learned and gone through this program, done the inventory, thought about my own self and how we can change, I became aware. I decided one year, I'm just going to be aware, and I'm not going to try and defend anything. I'm just going to take it in and think about it. And this was one of those things where I realized I don't have to talk a whole lot. When things get uncomfortable, that's really not the answer. So there's an example of the perception kind of things, and doing your inventory, and how awesome that is to be aware and awake. And once you realize that mess, that issue, that thing that you had going in your life that wasn't working for you, when you finally get aware and realize what it was and what the nature of that was, why you did what you did, I'm telling you, you just throw it away. And you may remember the situation, but it's no longer a mess. It becomes your message. And it becomes something that turns into a strength. Just like it says, He'll turn our weaknesses into strengths. And those are some of them we don't even know we have. And so I just want to share that with you today in hopes that you will become aware and make some changes in your life so you can move forward, be happier, be healthier, and be true to yourself. So have a great day. We'll talk to you again. Bye-bye.